All Robbie now knew was that he was now seated in front of his principal, Mrs. Proctor, with his teacher beside her and his parents seated beside him looking worried. "Now Robbie," the principal began, "tell me how you found out about your powers." "I didn't know I had any until today," Robbie answered honestly. "But your teeth," she proceeded. "I honestly didn't know I was a freak," Robbie answered angrily, his powers building up to another crescendo. His mother put a knowing hand on his arm and Robbie felt himself calm down. Look, those bullies got what was coming to them. I hate to say it, but I feared for my life when they started attacking me. Robbie bit back tears. "Well, why didn't you come to me?" his teacher Miss Simmons asked. She didn't like Robbie, probably because of his teeth. "I did. Twice. You told me boys will be boys." Robbie glared. "And the second time?" she backtracked. "That was the second time." Robbie glowered. "Look, we need some information here," Robbie's father said. "Yes, what is happening to Robbie?" his mother asked. Robbie felt like he had just disappeared from the conversation. "I have contacted a specialist in this field who will be arriving in the next 2 days, but until then, if I could ask the Robert stays at home," the principal asked, not wanting to induce the wrath of Robbie's father. "Certainly, if he has been getting bullied, then I don't want him anywhere near this school until those hooligans are expelled." "Actually, Dad," Robbie explained, "those hooligans won't be expelled because they won't be a real danger to other students unlike me." The bitterness and irony in his voice was very thick. "Also, it appears that they are still being treated like humans even though they bullied me. So I guess us freaks don't deserve protection." Mrs. Proctor looked at Robbie wickedly and he knew he had guessed right. Robbie's mother, who he had never seen filled with pure venom before, stood up and leaned across the desk until she was almost atop Mrs. Proctor. Robbie's mother never swore. "Now what is being done?" Mrs. Proctor looked to Miss Simmons, who simply avoided eye contact to avoid commitment. Robbie's dad, never one to miss a trick, piped in, "Yes, you too, Miss Simmons, as it appeared you neglected our son." "Well, of course they will be," Mrs. Proctor stammered. "Disciplined. And have this put on their records," Miss Simmons finished. "And then?" Robbie asked. The look of pure venom from both teachers told Robbie and his parents that his return to the school would not be a happy one if this specialist didn't come up trumps. His parents rose to leave and Robbie followed them out of the door. Nobody else spoke. "So, Fraulein, how did you sleep?" Charlie asked. Hanging from his favorite chandelier. Madeline bristled with anger, but she kept her response cool. "Oh, fine, Charlie, what about you? I know you have lost your teddy bear." "Oh, I'm keeping myself dry at night." "What?" Evan added. "Nothing. Nightcrawler tried to make me wet my bed last night but failed," Madeline said, still wearing a diaper. "Charlie, that's not on. You should have at least succeeded," Evan joked. He secretly fancied Shadow Cat and loved the idea of babying her. Madeline felt that she should dish out some punishment, especially since Charlie had admitted his guilt. As they continued to eat their breakfast in silence, all three sat there lost in their own thoughts. Robbie walked home from school with his head held high. He had unleashed a power he never knew he had, and he was now going to learn how to control it. He had heard of the legendary mutants who saved humanity from extinction despite the fact that humans despised them. That was who Robbie wanted to be, a hero. When he felt the wind touch his face, he remembered how he had used his mind, body, and something else to push away all those who were unwanted, and now he left himself feeling free. He opened his mouth and smiled. This was something he hadn't done for a long time.